All right. The news that we are looking at today is something that could fundamentally change how we view our portfolio. We often talk about XRP and XLM as competitors, two different projects fighting for the same piece of the cross border payment pie. But what if I told you that the biggest financial institutions in the world don't see them as enemies, but as two parts of the exact same machine? Software engineer Vincent Van Code just applied a massive discovery that has been circulating through crypto research circles. We are talking about a newly referenced institutional patent from the DTCC, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. For those who don't know, the DTCC is the backbone of the US financial markets, handling trillions of dollars in transactions. And guess who showed up together in their latest technical documents? XRP and XLM. Today, we are diving deep into this patent right here, where we are going to look at Figure 17, the multi-ledger framework, and why the big news is a major signal for anyone holding these assets. So let's break down the facts. Let's start with the first question about why XRP and XLM appearing together in Figure 17. The discussion started when a visual ledger identified a specific illustration in the DTCC patent. So let's open the design right here. The visual design in Figure 17 right here, both XRP and XLM are explicitly referenced within a cross-ledger transaction routing system. This is not just a mention in the text. It is part of a technical diagram showing how digital liquidity tokens can move across different blockchain ecosystem. So in my own opinion, for years, I've seen people argue about XRP versus XLM. But my personal take has always been that the utility era is not about one winner taking all. It is about interoperability. When the DTCC, a giant that acquired Securrency to build its digital asset infrastructure, puts both assets in the same diagram, they are telling us they want a unified liquidity architecture. They don't want a walled garden. They want a bridge that connects everything. This validates my long standing belief that holding both assets is a strategic move for the future of tokenized finance. The next question is, how does the DTCC multi ledger framework actually work? The patent describes a framework that enables digital liquidity tokens to operate seamlessly across different distributed ledgers. It focuses on facilitating asset exchange, fractional ownership, and coordinated settlement. Essentially, it is a master router for money. In my own personal opinion, this is exactly what the global financial system needs. Currently, money is siloed. Banks have their own systems, and those systems don't talk to each other very well. The DTCC is researching a way to connect Ripple based infrastructure and Stellar based protocols so that liquidity can flow between them without friction. So, what I can say about this is that this makes both XRP and XLM infinitely more valuable because they become the connective tissue of the entire global economy. It is no longer just about sending a payment, it is about being the infrastructure for all value. So, what does this currency acquisition tells us about the institutional plans. The patent links back to Securrency, which is now part of the DTCC digital assets. Securrency has a long history of developing stellar-based solutions for real-world asset or RWA. So, in my own personal opinion, you have to follow the money and the acquisitions. When the DTCC buys a company like Securrency, they are buying the brain power and the technology to bring trillions of dollars of traditional assets like stocks, bonds, and real estate onto the blockchain. Since the currency is deeply tied to Stellar and Ripple is the leader in settlement, the convergence of these two in a DTCC patent makes perfect sense. So, my personal take is that we are witnessing the construction of a financial internet, and XRP and XLM are the primary protocols, much like HTTP and SMTP were for the early web. So, why is interoperability the most important theme of 2026? The patent places a huge emphasis on cross chain compatibility. Institutions are terrified of liquidity uh, fragmentation, where money gets stuck on one chain and can't move to another. So, in my own personal opinion about this, as a trader, I look for the problem solvers. The biggest problem in crypto right now is that there are too many blockchains that don't talk to each other. The DTCC is solving this by creating a unified layer. So if XRP and XLM are the chosen assets for this layer, their demand won't just come from retail traders. It will come from the automated routing systems of the world's largest clearing house. So to me, this is the ultimate exit strategy for the speculation phase. We are moving into the operational phase where price is driven by actual constant usage. So, is this patent a guarantee of implementation? We have to be realistic. Analysts maintains a cautious outlook because patents represents research, not necessarily immediate deployment. So my own personal opinion about this is that while it is true that not every patent becomes a product, you have to ask yourself, why would the DTCC spend the time and money to research these specific assets? They didn't put 10,000 random meme coins in figures 17. They put XRP and XLM. So what I can say about this is that even if this specific patent is not the exact system they use, it reveals their strategic intent. They are looking at these two ledgers as the gold standard for institutional finance. So as a holder, that intent is enough to give me massive confidence in the long-term trajectory. And finally, the XRP and XLM communities have been at odds. But Vincent Van Code's reaction to this news was simple. This is big for both. So, in my opinion, I think it's time to stop the tribalism. This news shows that in the eyes of the DTCC, we are on the same team. XRP handles the high value cross border settlement and liquidity. XLM handles the accessibility and asset issuance. Together, they cover the entire spectrum of financial needs. So, what I can say is that look at the big picture. The institutions are building a system that requires both. If you are only holding one, you might be missing half the story. 2026 is the year of the multi chain institutional hub, and we are right in the middle of it. The DTCC is just one more piece of the puzzle, but it's a very big one. It shows that the master plan for global finance is not a secret anymore. It is being written into the technical diagrams of the world's most powerful institutions. So we need to stay focused on the utility, ignore the short-term noise, and remember, if the DTCC is planning for a multi-ledger future, you should be too. And this finally ends our video. Thank you very much for watching and see you on the next one.